Hello students, this is Ms. Brown recording a tutorial video for you to help you find volume of complex figures. As you know, this is standard 5MD5C. So let's get the tutorial started. Okay, so I'm going to introduce this tutorial as 5 easy steps. And yes, the steps are very, very easy. The figures are complex, but the steps are easy. So the first step being to pull out the dimensions, and we will talk about what that means in a few seconds. Step 2 is to separate the figure. We'll also talk about what that means and what that looks like as well. Step 3 is to relabel the figure. You'll see a picture and a demonstration in the PowerPoint slide as we talk about step 3. Step 4 is to find the volume of each figure. And by this point, we already know how to find volume of figures of rectangular prisms. So it's length time width time height, which we already know, and it's measured in cubic units. So anytime that we find the volume, we have to put the unit in cubes. And we know that looks like inches cubed or feet cubed or centimeters cubed. And that's what that looks like. And the last step is to add the volumes together. And then you are done. Okay. So let's practice. I have a figure here that you can look at, and I've already labeled it. And I have the steps over here again to remind us. First step being pull out the dimensions. Step 2, separate the figure. Step 3, relabel the figure. Step 4, find the volume of each figure and add the volumes together. And then after that, you'll be done. Just looking at this figure right here, we can see that it's clearly 2 separate figures, which goes to step 2. And as we look at these figures more, we'll be able to separate them by the eye. Okay, I think I went too far. Alright, step 1, pull out the dimensions. So, looking over here at the figure again, we know that we only need 3 numbers to find the volume of a figure. We need a length, we need a width, and we need a height. On your figure, it looks confusing in a complex figure. However, you must only be able to use 3 figures. You have to know that you can only use 3 numbers to find the volume of the figures. So, first of all, we need a length. A length is right here. And I advise you to make a table as such. Get a table and put length, width, and height on your paper. And so a length is what goes across like this. Here's a length, there's a length, and here's a length, and there's a length. So we see 2 lengths here. One is 15 inches and the other is 7 inches. And so you will put both inches or both dimensions or both lengths in your table, just like such. Then you want to find your width. We look over here. Where is the width? What does the width look like? Well, it's how wide the figure is. So if this is the length, then the width makes a right angle at the length. And so here would be the width. And as you see, I'm looking at all the widths. The width is consistent throughout the figure. Therefore, that means that it's going to be the same all the way through. Like if I had other lengths on here, if I had other heights, no matter what it is, my width is going to be the same because it remains consistent throughout the figure. And then next you need your heights. Heights go up. As you know, height means how tall you are. So we have a height here, height there, and height there. So that means our heights are going to be 4 and 10. And so we label it in our table as such. Alright, step 2, to separate the figure. So you separate the figure like this. When you put you could in the beginning, let me go back to slide 1. Here's the figure together. Here's the figure separated. So the 10 inches, 10 inches, 7 inches, 4 inches, and 3 inches remains the same. But when I separated the figure, where it was 15 inches across here has been affected. So it can't be 15 inches anymore. Alright, so that's separating the figure. Step 3 is relabeling the figure. I make me another table just like this, and I still have my figure separated just like that. The 10, the 3, the 4, and the 7 are all still in the same place. But that 15 is no longer there. So I asked myself, well, I had a length of 7 inches here. And so when I separated it, the 15 went away. But what plus 7 equals 15? And I know that 8 plus 7 equals 15. So that means that the length of this figure, once it's separated, is 8 inches. And so I would relabel my figure as such and then put it into my table just like this. Step 4, I find the volume of each figure. So we know to find the volume, we have to have those 3 numbers. We need a length, a width, and a height. And the operation that we use to find the volume is multiplication. So I would say 8 times 3 is 24. And then 24 times 4 gives me 96. And I know that my volume has to be measured in cubic units. So I always attach my cubic units here. So it's 96 inches cubed. I do the same for figure B, which this is figure A, looking at the dimensions, and this is figure B. And so I say 7 times 3 is 21, times 10 is 210, and I'm again attaching the inches in cubic units, and so it'll be 210 inches cubed. Alright, last step, I add the volumes together. Okay, so my first volume was 96 inches cubed. My second volume was 210 inches cubed. And when I add them together, I get a total of 306 inches cubed. So that means that the total volume for this entire figure, if it were together again, would be 306 inches cubed. And you're done. Thank you for watching. This is Miss Brown.